Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well, hope you're all doing fantastic, and that you're all having a great day. And without any further ado, let's jump right into it. I'm a little shocked. A lot of the news is like optimistic. We'll see what's going on, because not that I'm skeptical, but everyone seems to be nearly on the same page at this point. BitFlyer Holdings. BitFlyer Holdings has acquired FTX Japan and plans to launch potential crypto-based exchange-traded funds. This news is not to be confused with the news that we recently received. That was from Franklin Templeton and SBI, who have also merged or joined partnership-wise to announce that they're also going to be bringing Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs to Japan as well. So this is BitFlyer Holdings has acquired FTX Japan to launch ETFs. BitFlyer has completed the acquisition of 100% of FTX Japan's outstanding shares, making it a wholly owned subsidiary. The new business plans to provide crypto custody solutions for institutional investors. This was written by the CEO of BitFlyer Holdings. He said a company is needed that has the security technology to safely store the physical Bitcoin that will serve as the ETF's backing asset. Through our custody business, we aim to become a public service that serves as an industry infrastructure. And then it talks about FTX Japan collapsing in November of 2022 as well. We're getting a lot of acquisition news recently. As I'm not bringing it in a lot of videos. Acquisition news isn't usually like the most exciting thing on the planet, but we're getting a lot of ETF news, and I mean like a gargantuan amount of companies who are joining together to launch them. Other ones who were launching 2 or 3 days ago. We had news about the Bitcoin mini ETFs from Grayscale, and then we also, I think a day before that, we had the Ethereum mini ETFs from Grayscale as well. There's a lot of ETFs being launched. This seems to be the gateway, if you will, for institutions who are looking to get into the space. But now there are a lot of countries, we heard around springtime, a lot of countries don't want the US ETFs in their country. I assume it has to do with fees and who's receiving the fees. So now we're seeing a lot of like this country is launching an ETF kind of thing, because I assume then those fees then flow to the local government. So yeah, that's I believe the first ETF news that we have. BitFlyer has acquired FTX Japan. Let's move on. Also, so this, oh boy. This is like Visa news that we got from a while ago. Bitcoin mining company, they're called Marathon Digital. Marathon Digital is seeking partnerships with blockchain developers to build, hear this, Marathon Digital wants to build Bitcoin Layer 2 solutions for cross-border Bitcoin payments. For those of you who don't know, Bitcoin already does cross-border payments by itself with its blockchain. If you weren't here for the Visa news, Visa announced that they're integrating Ethereum things into their system. The idea is that they want to be the go-to place for Ethereum transactions. You might have assumed or seen or heard or realized my confusion when I was like, Ethereum already does cross-border transactions, but Visa was like, hold on, hold my blockchain. They want you to send your Ether to Visa. Visa then sends it to another party, whatever the case might be, for counterparty risk or whatever the heck is going on. And then they would send it on to the person who's supposed to receive it. As opposed to you just sending your Ethereum to the person who's supposed to receive it. So you don't have to have it go through Visa system, another third party system, and then also don't have to pay any extra fees on top of the ones that you already have to pay for the blockchain. So now Marathon Digital is talking about that they want to help people and or fund and or create partnerships for other layers on top of Bitcoin to be able to send Bitcoin around the world. A lot of these things, if not all of these things, tend to fall under the idea of regulations. We're doing this to be regulatorily compliant. We're doing this to so-and-so. No, because they charge fees. If you were trying to make sure that Bitcoin was regulatorily compliant and you were trying to expand the network, you would not make sure that people have to pay you fees for the things that you are trying to build that are already built into Bitcoin. Bitcoin already does all of these things, as does Ethereum, as does XRP, and every other chain out there. This is being done for money. This is being done because they're trying to figure out another way to make money besides their mining operation. And as we've seen quite recently, a number of companies and countries are getting into the idea of stable coins because stable coins make an enormous amount of money from their fees. This entire idea is, I want to use the word diabolical, but I think it's something even more than that. Bitcoin, even more so, I'm going to say it to you this way. If you wanted to improve things, just start improving the Lightning Network. This is probably being done because they want their own in-house solution to say that they've created something. Similar to when JP Morgan created JP Morgan coin. They wanted all the banks to use JP Morgan coin because they would have to then use JP Morgan's system and also pay a fee to JP Morgan. So what ended up happening was that other banks began to also create their own coins, and then they were completely interoperable because no one wanted to budge. If we have the Lightning Network already being a standard and it is quite robust and could be more robust, why not build on top of that instead of announcing that you're trying to make another layer 2 solution so that Bitcoin can have cross-border payments? Julian Durian, Marathon's product lead for sidechain, said at the latest Bitcoin 2024 conference in Nashville, Tennessee, which was also a flustercluck because I've never seen so much nonsense in my entire life, but apparently a lot of people love it. Cross-border payments are the biggest use case for blockchain, he said, generally speaking, and especially for Bitcoin. You know what already does cross-border payments? Bitcoin. According to Durian, who also contributes to Anduro, Marathon's in-house Bitcoin Layer 2 solution, he said, payments are at the top of my list of development priorities. I'm trying not to roll my eyes, but it's very difficult whenever I see nonsense on the screen. This also made relatively popular news because people keep forgetting that crypto already does this. And they think that any time that a large company is in the news announcing that they're going to do something to try to improve Bitcoin, it ends up making popular news as opposed to being like, hold on a tick, Bitcoin already does that. That's the Marathon Digital is looking for another stream of income. Stream of income is the word. Instead of building on top of what we already have, they're looking to make their own system so that they can say in 15 years, look at how innovative that we were by creating something that people didn't need because Bitcoin already did it. News. Okie dokie. Let's move on. Also, this one got me. This one I was not expecting at all. I think we are on the cusp of like major price movements. And I mean like major price movements. And I say that because this news is very similar to a lot of news that was popping up in 2020, where basically a lot of companies began to come forward to talk about that they're going to start accepting crypto. They're accepting crypto. It usually tends to follow like a massive surge in prices. It's normally for those of you who don't know, a lot of these companies don't care about crypto. What they care about is at their core, it's money. The issue is that they know that cryptocurrency prices are going to rise by a lot. So what they do is they begin to announce their support for cryptocurrencies, knowing that they can basically squeeze out money from you. It's been a common, I mean, this happens in every industry, but it happens quite frequently as well within the cryptocurrency space with a lot of different companies. I mean, you can look at the news over years and years and years. They announce that they're accepting crypto, and basically they know that when the bull market is raging, people are more likely to spend. You're not likely to spend your crypto if you have $3,000 in crypto, but if you have $148,000, that thing's not looking too bad. You know that they now accept cryptocurrencies as well. Oh, side note, please, for the love of God, if you decide to take any profits in this market, if you decide at any point to shift money around or whatever, please buy an asset that gives you money first. Please buy land. Please buy a home, a house, a rental property. Please, I don't care if you buy stocks that have dividends. Buy something that is going to continuously create and push out money for you before you decide that you are going to buy any car, any Lambo, any motorcycle. I don't care what it is, or any extravagant vacation. Go on the extravagant vacation after you've bought something that is going to continuously produce money for you. Toyota has announced that they are going to be using the Ethereum blockchain to create digital accounts for cars. Okay, making them more programmable and secure. Those digital car accounts will allow cars to function more like service entities, potentially enabling fully autonomous driving. That brings us back to 2017. One of the original ideas for cryptocurrencies was, for some reason, self-driving cars. Let me explain. When IOTA came out years ago, their entire purpose was basically meant to be the Internet of Things currency. The way that they promoted it was that if you are driving home or you have a self-driving car that's driving home, basically your refrigerator would be able to tell you, hey, we're running low on milk and running low on orange juice, and you'd be able to use IOTA or another cryptocurrencies to buy it through the blockchain or something like that. The other part was that with IOTA or any other coin, depends on how futuristic you are, you'd be able to buy a self-driving car. This is 2017 topics. You'd be able to buy a self-driving car and it would drive you around. Or when you're sleeping, you can go, hey, I want my car to make money for me. So you would basically tell your car when I'm sleeping, go drive around the city and pick up people like an Uber. And people would get inside and they would tap their phones or they would do it on the app. And you would basically wake up and you made $128 because 6 people used your car over the course of the night or something along with that. So this looks like and sounds like what Toyota is alluding to, integrating Ethereum into their cars to create digital accounts so they can have better track of them. They can be more programmable with, what's it called? Smart contracts. And also basically allow autonomous driving with the blockchain. They haven't said how or when or what or who or what, but this seems to be their thing that they're throwing out there. The project is part of Toyota's Mobility 3.0 concept, planning to integrate cars with public infrastructure. Once again, no date on any of this. It's just more of a cool idea for what they're talking about now. I'm going to assume that this is like 3, 4, 5 years away because Ethereum only does 3, 4, 5. Well, it's not that little, but transactions per second. And Ethereum would need millions of transactions per second to be able to pull this off. So was not expecting Toyota to announce any kind of integration with Ethereum, but alas, here we are. That's the Toyota Ethereum news. I'm sure none of you were expecting those words in this video. And yeah, let's move on. Also in the news, very popular news, Bitcoin mining company Marathon Digital has purchased $100 million worth of Bitcoin as part of their HODL strategy. Cryptocurrency mining giant Marathon Digital said on Twitter on Thursday that it purchased $100 million worth of Bitcoin and is now holding over 20,000 Bitcoin on its balance sheet as part of their HODL strategy. Here's the tweet for it right here. Cool. Awesome. Oh, wow. So companies continue to buy Bitcoin, and they're accumulating a lot of it, and retail still isn't paying attention. And in the future, the rich people are going to own all the Bitcoin, and there's going to be some kind of mental breakdown by a lot of people in the future when they realize that they could have, even been buying Bitcoin now. That's not financial advice. It's just more of logic. A lot of people beat themselves up because they didn't buy Bitcoin at $12 or $1,000 or $20,000. So we can only assume in the future, if Bitcoin goes to $1 million, a lot of people will look back at $60,000 and go, what a bargain. Cool. Not really much going on here except for, rich people continue to buy Bitcoin. You know what I'm also waiting for, which we haven't gotten in a season because it's every season, is news from Tether. Tether, for those of you who do not know, Tether makes billions with a B of dollars every month from people using Tether, just from the fees. And Tether said basically that every season they use 15% of that money that they made to buy Bitcoin. And it's always like hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. So looking forward to that one soon as well. I'm surprised that no one has like a spreadsheet or something like with all the companies who have Bitcoin, because it's a lot of them. That's the Marathon Digital has purchased another 100 million Bitcoin. That is 20,000 Bitcoin that millionaires and billionaires will never be able to own. And it's also around 2 million people on the planet will never be able to own fractions of Bitcoin because of this one company. 2 million people. And yeah. Let's move on. Also, wasn't expecting this. This is why I keep expecting prices to surge, because this news is very similar to other bull runs. Luxury sports car manufacturer Ferrari has announced that they will be expanding the ability to pay with Bitcoin and crypto in their European dealerships starting this month. The move comes after Ferrari began accepting Bitcoin and crypto payments at its US dealerships last year. Yeah, once again, you can treat yourself. You can buy something nice and shiny. If you are buying a Ferrari, I hope to heck that you just bought a condominium. I hope you just bought a house. I hope you just bought 2 investment properties, because that's the only thing that would make me clap for joy for you. Ferrari, like many other car companies, understands how much money there is to be made in the cryptocurrency space. A lot of these companies, I don't know Ferrari in particular, I don't really care. But a lot of companies years ago used to badmouth crypto and talk very negatively about it. And what basically happened is they realized that they could have made a lot of money if they had only invested earlier. So a lot of these companies are trying to get you to spend your crypto with them so that they don't have to mine it. They don't have to, accumulate it. You can basically hand it over to them. Very similar to that episode of $1 Million Listing, for those of you who missed it, where somebody offered 50,000 Bitcoin for an apartment in New York. It was rejected, and now those 50,000 Bitcoin are worth billions of dollars that the person does not have. So in the future, if people decide to, don't ever forget this, if people decide to buy a Ferrari and a Maserati or a Bugatti or anything else that's in any other rap song, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years down the line, be prepared to look back and go, not only has my car lost value, but I would have 7x'd my money if I only didn't buy this luxurious thing that I was buying to try and impress other people with. You know what's really impressive? Having a strong bank account. You know what's extra impressive? Having money flowing to you from other assets while you drive a 6-year-old car, so that you're not struggling. That's also quite impressive. Yeah, major news. Ferrari is going to allow people, wink, to pay in crypto at their European dealerships because, they want more money. That's the Ferrari news. Yeah. Let's move on. Also in the news, Semler Scientific announced that they're going to start selling some of this is exactly what I was saying at the beginning of the video. There's a lot of optimism. It's not that I'm skeptical. It's just more of a, okay. Basically, Semler Scientific announced that they're going to be selling off their company's stock, and they're going to be investing it into crypto. The company plans to sell shares for general corporate purposes and stated that part of the funds raised could be used to purchase Bitcoin. The move highlights Semler Scientific's yada yada. No, this has nothing to do with them trying to diversify. They understand what's going on, as do many other rich people within the space. They have not said when they're going to sell their shares of the company. And also, this move has to also be approved by the SEC. That's something that a lot of people definitely missed in the news as well. People keep forgetting that regulators exist. And you as a company, especially if you are a CEO or someone higher up, you cannot just sell your stocks off on a whim because you want to buy something else. It's like a lot of times we keep hearing, geez Louise, in the cryptocurrency space that a CEO or someone or blah, blah, blah wants to sell shares of a company. They usually, for those of you who don't know how the process works, if you are a major company, you have to have a conversation with the major shareholders and say, it's January. In October of this year, I would like to begin selling off stock. They go, okay, and they tell the other smaller shareholders that the CEO said in January that in October, he's going to start selling off his stock. How much stock do you plan on selling off? $100 million. Okay, this sale has to happen over the course of a 5 to 6 month period. So you'll hear 15 million was sold. 15 million was sold. It cannot happen all at once. A lot of people keep thinking that rich people have, liquid wealth. No. It's actually the exact opposite. It's tied up in many things. And the reason why you have to tell people so early is that so that if they wanted to, they could front run the entire, selling of the actual thing just in case stocks end up going down. So yeah, we're hearing a lot more about companies who are going to be buying Bitcoin, investing in Bitcoin. I assume that the acquisitions will be done through ETFs. I mean, years ago, we used to hear a lot of spot acquisitions, but I assume for taxation purposes that ETFs are probably a lot better for these companies to acquire Bitcoin. So cool. Semler Scientific is planning on selling off some of their shares. When this happens, you bet your bottom dollar it is going to be in the news because crypto news loves this kind of news. And when they end up buying Bitcoin, we will definitely hear about it as well. The world is changing right in front of us, and a lot of people, even in crypto, are still not paying attention. Yeah, that's the company is buying more crypto news. And yeah, let's move on. Also in news that we used to get before, but now we're getting it a tiny bit. Again, Bitwise has announced that 10% of the profits that they make from their Ethereum ETF are going to go back into the ecosystem. A lot of years ago, 2015, 16, 17, a lot of these companies in the cryptocurrency space were basically doing it of their own volition. They didn't have a lot of money. They didn't have a lot of funding. And a lot of developers around the world who were developing things for Bitcoin or for Ethereum were basically working for donations. That's if someone decided to donate something. So a lot of these people announced after a while, they were like, I can't develop on these chains anymore because I'm not making any money. Sometimes they were saying, I can't pay my rent. I can't do so. And so I've been working on these chains for a year and a half. So years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, a lot of companies began to announce we're going to start allocating money into these developer funds as well. Ripple was one of those companies who made one of the announcements. They said that, I forgot what the amount of money was, but they were going to have basically anyone who wanted to build on top of the XRP blockchain. You could come to them and say, hey, I have this idea. I want to do this. And they would basically give you money for it. So yeah, this is what Bitwise is also going to be doing as well. They're going to be supporting the Ethereum ecosystem because this is how you continue with growth. You can't assume that people want to work for free. First of all, nobody wants to work for free at all. But you can't assume that people in this ecosystem are rich and they're just simply like working because I want to work because I want to work. No, like they believe in these chains. And I think they should also be rewarded for keeping these chains alive and strong. On Tuesday, Bitwise introduced their Ethereum ETF on the New York Stock Exchange, yada, yada, yada. They announced that they're also going to be donating 10% of the ETF's profits to initiatives supporting Ethereum. The donations will be benefiting the Protocol Guild and the PBS Foundation. It's not what you think it is, I promise. The Protocol Guild plays a crucial role in over 170 core contributors dedicated to advancing Layer 1 protocol research and development on Ethereum. On the other hand, the PBS Foundation concentrates on financing Ethereum block relays and associated research to enhance the network's functionality and improvement. Why they chose PBS, I couldn't tell you if I tried. For those of you not from the States and have no idea what PBS is, it's the same channel that makes Sesame Street. So, yeah, it's PBS. It's PBS, right? It's PBS. It's PBS. It's not CBS. CBS, Fox, ABC, whatever has the Flash and Arrow on it. That company changes names so many times. And then it was also PBS, Public Broadcasting Station. Yep, I nailed it. Totally knew it. Anywho, got a bit off track there. Yeah, it's nice to see things like this. It's nice and this never makes popular news, and it never ever will. You know, giving money away to people and helping other people in need. Oh my gosh, how terrible! No, but this is like actually needed. There are I don't want to say more than enough, but there are a good amount of companies in the space who are now doing this. I think the names are too close. Either Strike or Stripe. One of them is also donating money to like Bitcoin developers as well. I don't know why their names are so similar or how they got so close. There's so many word combinations in the English language, and in both of the companies dealing with Bitcoin. Strike and Stripe. It could have been literally anything else. Anyway, cool. That's the Bitwise news. I hope we hear more companies doing stuff like this because it also like adds to the amount of people who want to build something, who have ideas, who want to get into the cryptocurrency space. They'll be able to do so through this. Yeah, I think that is going to do it for this video. I hope you're all having a great week. I hope you're all finding ways to relax, to enjoy yourself, to, you know, go outside and get some air, because a lot of the cryptocurrency echo chamber is sounding a little insane right now. So I think it is necessary for the majority of people in this space to remind themselves that other things exist except for crypto. You can go outside and walk around. Stop checking prices all the time. You checking the price 18 times a day is not going to change prices. I can assure you, you are not going to miss a 38% rise in whatever altcoin that you're holding for 5 minutes. It's simply not going to happen. I have a lot of friends who keep checking their phones and prices, and I'm like, why are you doing that? Prices aren't going to skyrocket. Like, they're not, you know, anyway. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.